This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Monday, March 15. In Squiz Kids today, landslide election in WA, Rhode Island's runaway cow, Dockers and Reds' big sporting comebacks, and a Muppet on the Masked Singer. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
You've probably heard the word landslide used a lot in the last 24 hours to describe the outcome of the election in Western Australia. So, what does a bunch of earth and mud and rocks tumbling down a hillside have to do with an election? It's a term that's used, especially when describing election results, when one side dominates and the other side gets slammed. And that's essentially what happened at the weekend over in WA, where the Premier Mark McGowan was returned to office. Members of his party, the Labor Party, are expected to take 53 seats in the WA Parliament, while the Liberal Party are tracking to win only 3. 53 to 3. Yep, as landslides go, this was a big un. Premier McGowan's popularity over in the West has been boosted by border closures he has maintained during the pandemic, with many sandgropers, which is the nickname given to West Australians, saying they believe he kept them safe.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Rhode Island, on the east coast of the United States, where a runaway steer has led police on a wild goose chase through local towns and forests. A steer is a bull that has been reared specifically for its meat. And this particular steer did a runner when he was being unloaded at a meat processing factory. Seems he wasn't all that interested in becoming hamburger mince. The 725-kilogram steer has been on the loose for just over a month, wandering the snow-filled forests of Rhode Island, carefully evading all attempts by police and local authorities to capture him. But the important thing is that the steer seems happy enough grazing in the forest, and everyone is keeping a good sense of humour, with the local police posting to Facebook this week, "Steer clear of the steer." See what they did there? Safe to say that this is one cow that is still very much on the move. And that's my dad joke for the week.
Sport time.
It was a weekend for coming from behind, with 2 examples of gutsy team efforts in 2 different footy codes over the weekend. In Canberra on Saturday night, the Queensland Reds put on a display of rugby that had fans from the Sunshine State leaping out of their chairs in triumph. Behind by 15 points with only 30 minutes to go, the Reds stormed back into contention and snatched victory with 1 minute to go thanks to a magic try by Jordan Pataya, claiming the win by 40 points to 38. In the AFLW, it was the Fremantle Dockers who staged a mighty comeback in their match against Carlton in Melbourne. Although the Blues dominated for the first quarter, so much so that 5 Dockers players didn't even touch the ball, the visitors scored 3 goals in the space of just over a minute to win the game 45 to 41.
Pop Culture Corner.
We're still months away from the next season of The Masked Singer here in Australia, but in the United States, Season 5 kicked off last week with a whole new cast of kooky characters. From the one-eyed grandpa monster to the porcupine, black swan and chameleon, there was a mystery singer for everyone. But it was the snail that attracted the most attention in the season opener, as the character who was the first to be eliminated and whose identity was the first to be revealed. The singer beneath the costume was revealed to be a puppet, or a Muppet to be exact, in the shape of Kermit the Frog. Classic. There's a link in today's episode notes to the Kermit reveal and to photos of all the new characters. Because it's a Monday and we all need to ease ourselves into this week.
Q&A call out.
Do people sometimes ask you what you want to be when you grow up? Well, you might have a new answer after listening to the person we have lined up to do our next Squiz Kids Q&A. She's a tiger keeper at Taronga Zoo. Louise Ginman is her name, and there's probably not a question she can't answer about working with tigers, lions and other wild creatures. Imagine looking after tigers for a living. What a job. And in a Squiz Kids Q&A first, we'll not only be releasing this Q&A as a podcast, but it will also be filmed and go out on the very excellent Taronga TV at the same time, meaning you'll not only be able to hear Louise, you'll be able to see her too. And the 7 tigers she cares for at the zoo. Real live tigers on Squiz Kids. Ah! So, time to start thinking up some questions. And to get your juices flowing, there are links to some great tiger facts and some awesome video of tiger triplets born at the zoo 2 years ago in today's episode notes. Talk about cute. Send any tiger keeping questions you might have for Louise to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. You've got until the end of this week. And yes, of course, the best question will win a prize.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Which political party won the WA election at the weekend? That's right, it was the Labor Party. Question number 2. Name the rugby team who stormed home strong to beat the Brumbies on Saturday night. You got it, it was the Queensland Reds. Question number 3. Which Muppet has popped up on the US version of The Masked Singer? Yeah, it was Kermit the Frog.
Shout-outs.
It's March 15, birthday of trailblazing US women's activist Ruth Bader Ginsburg and rapper will.i.am, which is about as random a pairing as you will ever find. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Finn from Exeter, Mitchell from Inverell, Alira from Jindalee, Caitlin from Manopara, Lockie from Craigburn, Zoe from Harden, Olivia from North Lakes, Claudia from Cooperoo, Yasmin from Hewenden, Amelie from Bellevue Heights, Gracie from Gilmore, Jasper from Albany Hills, Joe from Burrawa, Noah from Sheoak Grove, and Jeremy from Otford. And some belated birthday shout-outs to Imogen from Bathurst, Jet from Woodhill, James from Diamond Creek, and Mikey from Temora. Happy birthday, one and all. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Mr. Passmore's Room 12 class from Alan Jarrah Primary School, Class 6 White at Holy Family Primary School, Class 3L from Carlingford Public School, Class SU3 from Broken Hill, and 3G at All Hallows Catholic Primary School from 5 Dock. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids.
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.